Christopher Paunil, and you're watching G5CU. So I'm a fashion designer. I've been doing that for my own business for the last 5 years, actually. April 1st will be our 5th year anniversary. In addition to that, I'm also a teacher, part-time teacher at Georgetown College and at the Toronto Film School, and I teach the fashion workshop at UforChange. I can't remember specifically what got me into fashion. It was probably maybe a little bit of my grandmother and watching her sew as I was a kid, and me maybe just trying to figure out where I would fit in the world. Through high school, I went to an art school in high school. I was a vocal major, actually. So when it came time to graduate, I didn't actually think I was going to pursue a career in music. I thought that I would be good enough to do that, so I decided that I would, apply for fashion at University and college, and that was something that I was always into growing up and something that was always inspiring to me. So after graduating from the Georgetown Fashion School, that's when I really decided to work in the bridal industry, which is what I do. I design bridal gowns and women's ready-to-wear. I was watching an episode of Fresh Prince, Bel-Air, and it was the very first episode of the TV show, and Will Smith was dressed in like this blazer with a ball cap, and a pair of jeans and like these high tops. And this show was like from like the mid-90s maybe, and what he was wearing is what I see kids wearing now, so I found that really interesting. I don't know if it's something that I like or dislike, but I find that it's interesting how these trends recycle, or I guess they recycle themselves, or they I don't know, what's the word?
Recycle.
That word, recycle. Yeah, that like a trend that was popular in the 90s is now, I guess, big again in now 2015, but it's also something that I've been seeing the last few years. What I've noticed since I was a kid is that trends when I was a kid were hard to explain. One thing would become really popular with a group of people or with teenagers, and that was like the thing across the board. And what I really like now about trends is that someone in this generation or a teenager from this generation could wear whatever they want to wear, and it would look trendy. They won't look like they're coming from a different era or trying to be someone from a different group or that sort of thing. It's just whatever you want to wear now will go. Whereas when I was growing up, if you did something that was out of the norm, you looked out of the norm. There was nothing trendy about you. But now if you do something out of the norm, you're considered cool, which I find really interesting. So maybe that's something that I don't like about trends or fashion. So, some things I've done since becoming a fashion designer is I've done this competition with the TFI, with the Toronto Fashion Incubator called TFI New Labels, and I was a semi-finalist in that for 2 years. I didn't win, but I should have. So that's, I guess, that's an accomplishment for me. Within the last 5 years, I've gone from doing custom wedding dresses to now being sold at Kleinfeld. HBC at Kleinfeld. Hudson's Bay is the second Kleinfeld in the world. The first one is in New York, where Say Yes to the Dress is filmed, the TV show on TLC, and it's also the world's biggest bridal store. So to be associated with that is quite an achievement, I think. And now it's just about, taking baby steps in the right direction so that I can expand into like the US market and other markets across North America or even Europe or Asia. And something I also think is an accomplishment for myself is being able to teach at UforChange and teach a skill to other people at like George Brown and the Toronto Film School, because I think it's really satisfying or gratifying to be able to pass on some knowledge to other eager and willing people that want to learn about what you do. So something coming up is our 5-year anniversary, as I mentioned. We'll be having our 5th year anniversary April 1st. Our bridal collection is at Kleinfeld HBC. Our ready-to-wear collection at the moment is in a store in Oakville called Baitoka. And you can contact us at info@ChristopherPaunil, Paunil.com.